Hey there guys, welcome back to another episode of Monster Super League. It's your boy Odin, and today we're going to be doing another Astromon review. As you guys all know, we are basically a few hours away from the Birdie and Kokumaru rebirths, so I figured, you know what, this is probably a good time to go ahead and just cover the Birdie, basically going over the stats, the skills, and where the Birdie can be used. Um, Let's see if he's up in here yet. No, it doesn't look like he's listed on the news. But anyways, looks like the Kiki rebirths are about to end. Congrats if you pulled the dark one. She's pretty good. But anyways, going on to the Birdie review here. The Birdies are, the RGBs are okay. They're nothing too crazy special, but for new players, I definitely think that you guys should, build at least one or two of them. And therefore, I wanted to kind of at least go over what they do so that some of you guys who may be interested in them, just go ahead and do it or not. So the Zephyr or Birdie is a defender type. He comes in with 28,752 HP, 1780 attack, 2500 defense, and almost 1400 recovery. The Birdie's actually not too bad for the fire type. He comes in with 80% chance to taunt on a 3-star skill. So if you're a new player and you're looking for a defensive mon for the CBC or the arena, he's not too bad. Taunt is actually pretty usable. Unfortunately, it's not Fearless Taunt. Fearless Taunt reduces damage, taken by 50% after taunt. But he can be pretty good if you want to just have somebody on defense. The 5-star skill is Zap, grants a 60% chance to inflict the enemy with Zap damage for 2 turns. And then Zap foes have decreased resistance. So all in all, not too bad of a combination of skills there. I wish it was kind of like a double zapper or something like that, but you know what? Can't always get what you want. The leader skill is Grace of Life, increases allies' HP by 30-35% in dungeons, meaning that it is restrictive to places like the Colossus. Would I recommend you guys to use them as a leader skill in Colossus? Probably not, but HP is always good pretty much wherever it's applicable. Depending on how you really want to use them, if you're a new player, the way that I would build them is probably just HP defense. Zap is not really reliant on attack anymore. It's basically a fixed cost of damage or a fixed damage, which is around 8,000 per tick. So nothing too crazy there. So you go for survivability on him. Since he's already a defender, you're probably going to benefit more from HP defense. So just keep that in mind. All right, moving on to the water one. See if I can get to that pretty quickly. Probably not. There are too many Astromons. Let's see. Here is the water Zephyr or water Birdie. And he's actually not bad, and this is where I was saying, like, if you're a new player and you need one, the water one's actually not too bad. So the water one is a balanced type. He comes in with 30,450 HP, 1760 attack, almost 2,000 defense, and 1,700 recovery. For a balanced type, he actually has a pretty decent amount of defense for a 3-star. So therefore, you can be pretty much good at using him for defense in the arenas or in CVC. The 3-star skill is an 80% chance to stun the enemy for 1 turn. So if you don't have any stunners for places like Tower of Chaos, he's a pretty good build if you're looking to just get up at least to level 50. The 5-star skill is Thirst, grants a 60% chance to reduce a target's skill gauge by 30% for 2 turns. Again, mainly an arena or CBC skill. But overall, I think the combination of skills for him particularly are actually pretty good. The leader skill does not work in the CVC or in the arena, but the 2 combinations of skills here actually do, and he's pretty good at it. The way that I would probably build him is probably same as the fire type HP defense, or if you really want to try to test your luck, you can do HP defense. If you have a siphon set, he works pretty well in a siphon set. Like I said, just triple HP or HP defense. Either one of those works. But on a on a siphon set, he's actually pretty good because you can get thirst off pretty quickly. And it's for 2 turns. 60% chance. If you have a siphon, you can basically get the active skill off every 3 turns or so. So not too bad. On defense, he works pretty well. pen and paper, he's not too bad. He has pretty decent amount of HP. So like I said, for new players, just go ahead and build him if you need somebody for the arena or for the CBC. So that's pretty much it for the water one. Let's see if we can find the wood one. Let's see if we can scroll down to him quickly. I don't know, guys. Let me know which one you think is the best one. Personally, I built all my Zephyrs, but I never really used them, or Birdie. He's just kind of on the back burner for me. I feel like I've found better monsters to use than him. But all in all, he is there. So if you're new and you want to use him, go for it. So the Wood Zephyr is actually a 2-star mon, and he is a tank type. He comes in with 36,800 HP, so that's actually a lot better HP. I just did my review for the Kokumaru, and the Kokumaru is a 4-star light and dark, and he has 37,000 HP, so for a 2-star monster to have 37,000 HP is pretty good. The attack is 1750, defense is 1247, and recovery is 1300. The defense is actually where you're going to be trying to make up for a lot with your gems. So the way that I would build them is probably HP defense since he's already got that high HP, or you could do HP defense. But he is worth building. He can be used in the Colossus or in the Golem's dungeon as well. His 3-star skill is Zap, grants a 100% chance to inflict the enemy with Zap damage for 1 turn. It is a fixed damage for the Zap as well, so it is going to be around 8,000. The 5-star skill is a 60% chance to stun the enemy for 1 turn. So again, he can be used as a defense monster in the arena or in the CBC. The Zephyrs were mainly built for some of the newer players, just so that you guys would have a little bit of balance as far as your defense teams, especially in the CBC and in arena. So if you're a new player and you need a Birdie just to make up some extra space on your arena and your CBC, go ahead and build it. The sap damage again is actually pretty usable in golems. Middle to end game, definitely not reliable as a monster. The sap for 1 turn is just kind of like meh. But if you build one because you had too many birdies, like after a rebirthing or after just summoning in your clan festival and your heroes festival, he's not too bad. He can be used. So just but keep in mind that you will get better mods as you progress through the game. If you're going to be running Golems B8, just build 4 water monas or 2 water monas and 2 wet mihos, and you'll be more than fine with those. So I always recommend people 2 water mihos or 2 seedlers. That's more than enough to do the golems. So just saying. Let's see. That's it for the wood one. I don't really have any other uses for him. Let me know where you guys use him, or if you have a particular typing that you like better than the other ones. But of course, your light and your dark ones are going to be the trophies. They're going to be the better monsters to get to Evo 3, and you'll actually be able to use them because they have more useful skills. So the Light Birdie or Light Zephyr is an attacker type. He comes in with 27,000 HP, 3,200 attack almost. More like 3,100, but pretty high attack for a 4-star, like I said, light and dark. The defense is 2159. It's a little bit on the lower end, but you'll make up for it, especially because he's an attacker type. The recovery is 2,000, totally. It doesn't even apply to him, but you can basically shrug it off. Morale boost is grants a 100% chance to restore 20% of 1 SP when attacking, and the 5-star skill is Predator, so increases damage dealt by 30%, which is very useful, especially for new players. Doing the story. If you don't have a Fire Draka or a Water Mona or a Water Thor, the Light Zephyr is actually really good. You can use him in all kinds of dungeons. He works pretty well in Slumbering City. He works very well in Sky Falls, Glacial Plains, basically some of the harder areas he does pretty well at. So definitely a monster worth building for farming. The morale boost is pretty handy, although it is just basically an independent morale boost, so it only applies to him. It is pretty useful, especially with a combination of skills. So I personally think that he's probably got the better skill set of many other mons if you compare him. So the 4-star Zephyr, definitely a monster worth building. Of course, with the leader skill, again, pretty usable in dungeons. You can take him. I'm not entirely sure if dungeons also applies to Tower of Chaos, but I'm pretty sure it does. If not, you can correct me, but he can be used in Colossus. As far as any other uses for him, I'm not entirely sure. He's mainly a farming or just a completing different types of events, types of mon. But if you need like a basically a monster that will take you through the story, this one is a pretty good choice. So if you pull a light Zephyr, definitely build him up. He's pretty good. Plus the variant actually looks pretty good too. So there's also that. The way that I would build him is probably attack HP, or you could do HP attack crit rate. You could also do attack defense crit rate. There's many different ways that you can build him, but I would always recommend you guys to have at least 100% chance to crit on him because he's a light type. You could always do like an intuition set on attack crit rate, or you could do a ruin set on attack crit rate. I understand that he's a light type, but you're not going to be using him in arena or anything like that unless you're using him as an attacker. And if you are using him as an attacker, you should be using ruin or intuition. The conviction set is not going to do anything for you. The life set is not going to do anything for you. Because he's an attacker, as you guys know, attackers benefit most from ruin or intuition. So that's basically all that it comes to, unless there's a specific typing or skill that applies a little bit better for that type. But attackers in general, you always want to put them on Ruin or Valor or Intuition. I forgot about Valor too. You can put him on a Valor set, like a triple attack Valor with really high crit rate subs. Or you could do attack crit damage on a Valor set. That actually would probably balance it out a little bit more. So if you can't do a ruin set and you have a valor set, do attack crit damage. So that will basically give you a little bit of a boost for the lack of the ruin set, and you'll still get that 20% bonus from the valor set. So in general, yes, I would say that for a lot of monsters who are attacker types, you're either using ruin on triple attack with high crit rate subs, or you could do valor to attack gems and a crit damage with high crit rate substats. So there's that. Anyways, that's it for the light type. We'll go ahead and move on to the dark type, which is the preferred monster for almost everybody that I know. The Dark Zephyr is actually pretty usable in Arena, and therefore a pretty good monster to build. So the dark type is a tank type with 44,600 HP, so really good HP. Attack is 2,000, defense is 1940, and the recovery is 1915. So all in all, I think that the dark one is probably going to be the best one out of them. You can build him basically on a well, let's go over his skills here first before I tell you what gems you should use. Mainly because he's a dark type, so he's already benefiting from the 100% chance to crit damage. So you actually could use him technically like on a Valor, Intuition, or even a Conviction set. So his 3-star skill is Aggression, HP. So the more health you have, the more damage he'll deal. And then the Adrenaline is attack, or the 5-star skill is Adrenaline. Attacks restore allies' HP in an amount equal to 10% of all max HP. So he's essentially going to heal all of your group or your ally Astromon. Again, with the leader skill, he actually works pretty well as well. You can take him into dragons. You can take him into golems. For golems, he's actually pretty decent, but you have to build him a specific way. The way that I would build him as a recommendation to all of you guys is basically go ahead and just put him on a triple HP on a ruin set. You can basically watch him just do some work. He can actually do some pretty good damage, comparable damage to, I would say, the Dark Seedler, but HP aggression is limited. I believe it's only about like 75% of the damage that you would deal if you were using an elemental edge type skill. So there's also that. But if you build him up to like, let's say 110,000 HP, I kind of ruin set, he's going to be hitting pretty hard, probably around like 15,000 to 20,000 a hit. So there's that. So where else would you use him? Mainly in CVC or in Arena. Like I said, for a lot of beginner players, he's actually really good. He can be used in story as well, But you know, he's also a pretty good monster for Tower of Chaos if you're missing just an overall hitter. But the best way to build him, guys, is going to be triple HP on a Ruin set. If you can't do that, then go ahead and put him on a uh, triple HP on a life set with high crit rate substats and a resistance substats. Him being a dark monster, he's not going to be getting hit as hard in arenas because there's, you know, obviously a lot less people using light monsters as attacker types in arena. Most of these days, everybody has dark monsters that will basically nuke all of your light monsters on defense. So therefore, you know, you can probably use him as a defender, or you can use him as an attacker as well in your arena or in challengers arenas teams. But all in all, the way that I would rank the Zephyrs is going to be the dark one first, followed by the light one, and then of course the wood one, the water one, and then the fire one. So the exact reverse in which order that they came in. So dark, light, wood, water, and then fire. Or I think I said it the other way: water, fire, then wood. But either way, the light and the dark ones are the ones that you're going to aim for. Since they are coming back on the rebirth with the Kokumaru, either or is going to be a pretty good chance for you to build either one of those two monsters. Would I choose the Birdie or the Kokumaru? It depends on where you are in the game. If you need monsters that will help you complete the storyline and things like that, it's going to be the Zephyrs. If you need a monster that will help you out in Titans, it's going to be the Kokumaru. I actually think that's actually better for MSL to or 433 to dish out the monsters that way, because that way you have people who are, you know, maybe already have a Zephyr and all they need is the Kokumaru. They can basically go for the Kokumaru. If you have people that have the you know, Kokumarus and all they want is a Zephyr, they can, you know, basically get their chance of getting a Zephyr. So I think alternating Astromons that way every month is actually pretty good. If they did like 2 a month, considering that there's so many monsters out there, it gives everybody the opportunity to collect them a little bit faster. But just keep in mind that the rebirths do cost 5 Nat 3 Astromons, which I know nowadays, you know, it's hard to give up Astromon as you kind of tend to release them for gems and things like that, or like, you know, at least to try to get some more eggs so you can summon some more Nat 3s or Nat 4s or Nat 5s from the 3 to 5 star secret eggs. But all in all, I think that the Zephyr and the Kokumaru are worth the rebirths. So go ahead and get to the story farming, guys. You know, catch as many Kakumarus, as many rares or as many super rares as you can from the story, and then just save them and throw them into the Zephyr. If you're looking for rebirth mons, particularly easy stages are going to be places like in the Mirage Ruins here. If you run Mirage Ruins, I believe it's 9 or 8. Hold on, let me take a look. 9. So if you run Mirage Ruins on 9, you will actually encounter quite a few Seedlers and quite a few Mijos. Personally, I find that this is probably the best stage to farm rares and super rares at low levels. And because you can run it at 3 energy, you can basically run this endlessly and try to find as many of them as you can. But that's going to be your best stage to capture mons. Some people will tell you or may argue with that and say, you know what, stage 1 is probably going to be the best. But just from running this place thousands and thousands of times and running Phantom Forest thousands and thousands of times, I'll tell you right now that from my personal experience, Mirage Ruins is the better of the 2 stages. I think that in Mirage Ruins also I've caught at least 40 to 50 legendaries in the last like 5 months. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you do run that stage, you have a chance of running into Stormbeak. If you run it in normal, you'll actually get the fire one, which is quite useful in Titans. Both the light, dark, and the wood Titan. So just keep that in mind as well. So if you run it on normal, you'll get the wood one. If you run it on extreme, you'll get the fire one. I think I said that backwards earlier. If you run the Mirage Ruins on extreme, you'll get the legendary, the fire one, the one that's actually useful. But if you run it on normal, you'll essentially get fodders for your fire one when you do encounter one of them. So that's it for this review, guys. I hope that you found it useful. Let me know in the comment section down below which one you're wanting to pull and which one of the Zephyrs is your favorite. I will see you guys on the next Astromon review. Until then, go ahead and take a look at the link down there below for the Discord if you'd like to ask any questions or if you need help with anything. I'm always available, or it's somebody else at least in the channel will be able to help you out if you have any questions or need some help. But again, if you have any other reviews or requests, just go ahead and drop it down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take it easy.